Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. Today we're going to be getting into an advanced tutorial on Lightburn libraries, the cut and engrave library, the art library, where to get them, and how to use them. So stay right there because we're about to get started. All right, so here we go. We're in Lightburn now. This is the latest version, as you can see up there. This is the library tab down here, library, art library. Yours may be up here. It could be anywhere. Typically, I think when you first load it, it's going to be up in the top. I like to keep it at the bottom. You can pull these out, move them wherever you want, put them wherever you want. I like to keep them down here, so that's why I have them down here. So if you grab the title bar, this is the title bar, and you drag it any place you want. You can also make it larger, smaller, whatever you want to do. And then just drag it back to where you got it from. This screen over here will turn blue. Not maybe not on all laptops. Laptops seem to have a problem with this, but once it turns blue, you can let it go. If you don't see the library, you can right-click on any title bar, and you'll see them in here. If it doesn't have a check mark, that means it's not out visible. Just click on it to give it the check mark. You can also come up to the top over here where it says Window. And in the window, you'll see everything that you have in here visible on your work area. And you can check any of the things that you want. Now, while we're talking about the window, let's talk about something that a lot of people are confused about. When they see me do something like this and then put it into fill mode, it fills on the screen. Well, that's because in the window, in the view style right here, I have this set to preview mode, filled coarse or filled smooth. If I put it in wireframe, that goes away. And what wireframe is for is basically working on the objects so that you don't have to go from fill to line. Because when you're in fill mode and you're also in filled here, the preview mode, you can't work with the object the same way. So I like to keep my view in either filled coarse or filled smooth. Filled coarse will use less system resources than filled smooth, and there's really no visual difference. So pick the filled coarse if you want to see the preview as you work. And where that comes into play would be, for instance, if you're doing, let's put this into line mode for a minute, and quickly just do an offset on it, like that. And now if we put it into fill mode, you can see what that looks like. You see? But it may not be quite as simple to work with, you see? So that's why you might want to have it in the other mode. I prefer to have this in filled coarse so that I can see what I'm doing as I'm working. I don't mind just turning this into line mode to work with it. So that's just a quick answer to a question that I get a lot. How come my screen doesn't look like yours? Well, there's all types of customization you can do to this, but let's get into the libraries. So now if you don't have the library, right click on a title bar, any title bar, and choose art library and regular library. So art library is exactly what it says, where all your art libraries are. Library is your cut and engrave settings. So let me give you an example. Let's come to the art library. Let's grab something, put it on the workbed like that. Okay? So there we go. U.S. Air Force. Now if we go to the library, we're going to decide here, what are we doing this on? And let's say we're doing this on Baltic birch. Now you have choices in here, and this one says no thickness, Some of the other ones I've actually put names on. No thickness means engrave. So if I expand, now the arrows are expanders. They're tree expanders. If I click on this one, it expands it again, and there's engrave. Okay? So now if I come up here and I click on this in my cuts and layers and turn this blue, okay? And then click on engrave and hit assign to layer. Watch what happens right here when I do that. Ready? 3, 2, 1, click. See what it just did? It assigned the appropriate speed and power to this graphic. It also put it into fill mode because that's what it remembers. But if we want it in line, we just put it back. It remembers all of the parameters. That's what a library does. So instead of having to run a test card, which, you know, really is the best thing to do, but instead of having to run a test card, once you've dialed in your settings, you can always come in here. If that didn't work and you found a better setting, you know, you lowered your speed, raised your speed, lowered your power, you could always come over here to edit and click on edit and change the numbers that you have here. If any of the libraries have a name associated with the layer, you can also change that and put a name in it that will appear right here. See where it says engrave? And all you have to do is say OK after you're done editing it. You have libraries for all different things. You also have libraries for different lasers. So I want you to notice that we are now on my 50 watt CO2. Let's choose, and I want you to watch right here where, see where it says 50 watt CO2? Let's choose something different. Let's go to the P9 atom stack, which is not on the market yet, but so now you see atom stack P9, and you're going to see atom stack M50 right here. So it loaded the library automatically for me when I changed layers. So now if we were to do the same thing and we were to bring out the same kind of graphic, let's bring this graphic back out. And now if we wanted to, we'll highlight the layer, and you'll see that that's definitely not right, is it? No, it's not. So let's come to the library tab. Let's go to, let's do basswood this time. And let's do engrave. And now this is highlighted. All we have to do is click assign to layer and watch the numbers here. 3, 2, 1, click. See what it did? That is my setting for basswood engraving in line or fill mode. Doesn't matter which one it is. Line or fill, makes no difference. So it automatically set that. Now if I wanted to cut that, let's say I wanted to cut it, here's the 2.5 millimeter, one pass cut. Now I'm going to assign it to the layer. You see it went to 250 and 100 power. If I want two pass cut, watch again, it goes to 450 and 100. If I want three passes, I'll assign that to the layer, 650 and 100. Now you see how easy this is to use. So let's say that I was doing this on hardwood. Instead, if I come down here to engrave, click on engrave, assign it to the layer, you'll see that it changed, 3025. By the way, this is the M50 module. So for people that have been asking me, you know, the X7 Pro, all of the 10 watt modules that come from Atom Stack, they all use the same M50 laser module. So the M50 is now available on the forum. So now the question is, where do you get all of these art libraries, and where do you get all of these cut libraries for your specific laser? Well, that's a good question, Rich. Let's answer that real quick. So here we are on my hobby forum. And one of the things that I'm trying to do right now is reduce the amount of emails, instant messages, you know, that I get, because I'm up to well over 200 a day now. Yesterday I went fishing and didn't get home, I guess, from 5 in the morning till about 11:30. So I hadn't looked at my emails since 9 o'clock the night before. I had 244 emails in my inbox, and I answer all of my email. So it took me half the day just to answer a whole bunch of easy questions that I'm going to answer in this video about libraries, the forum, using them and everything else. So let's get back to this and focus a little better. So this is the forum, and you'll see here that there's all kinds of topics here, but one thing that's clearly missing is downloads. And I talk about you can download it from the download section of my forum all the time in my videos, but yet it's not here. There's no download section. Why is that? Well, it's because I am not logged in. Well, I am registered, but if you've never been here before, you have to click on this link that says register. And that will take you to this page right here, where you can agree to these terms or not. It's completely up to you. So if for some reason, after you've finished your registration, okay, and I've changed this now so that you no longer have to worry about the pop-up blocker anymore, turning that off. So I've changed it to something that you have to fill out. And if for some reason you don't get your activation link, because you won't be able to use this until your account is activated, well, all you have to do is come back here to the main forums, go all the way down to the bottom where it says contact us, and send me a message, and I'll activate it for you. There's lots of reasons why you may not have gotten the email. So, a lot of email servers will deny it because it's coming from a software script. But I can tell you that we have, this is a great resource center, by the way. We have 4,700 posts, 978 topics, 9,000 members. There's lots and lots of information here, lots of good people here, all types of hobby topics. It's a very valuable website. Once you've registered, you're going to log in, and I'll log in here. And now all of a sudden this appears. Members only files and downloads. So you won't see this if you're not a member. And membership is free, by the way. There's nothing for sale on this website unless you go to the flea market where you can post items that you have for sale. But you won't be charged for anything here. So now you see the members only files and downloads, and we'll click on that. And in the top is an announcement section where there are announcements, and you might want to read through these because they're pretty important, okay? And then you'll see topics over here, and these are all the topics down below. And here you'll see Lightburn cut and engrave settings for diodes, Lightburn art libraries, cut and engrave settings for CO2, and all types of templates and things that are in here. So let's start with the library downloads. Or actually, let's just start with the art library. How about that? We'll go right from the top. So we click on art library. The top notice here is for manufacturers. This notice here is just basically telling you all of the time that I've put into all of this, and if you want to send me $1 or $2, I'd appreciate it. But this right here is the important thing. Folder organization is extremely important, and that's why I've got this highlighted in red. Everybody just blows right by this and wants to go straight for the libraries. But please, don't do that, because I've taken the time to write this. It's very, very important. You will be very confused after a month or 2 months if you don't follow these instructions. And it's very simple. You're just creating a folder on your desktop called Lightburn. We're going to do this together. Let's get this out of the way. So, here's the desktop. You create a folder like this. It says Lightburn. All you have to do is right-click, and, well, in Windows 11, you have to go to Show More Options and go to New Folder. It's that simple. That simple. On Windows 10, you just right-click and say New Folder. So name that folder Lightburn. Inside this folder, Lightburn, which will always be right here on your desktop, inside this folder, you're going to create another new folder. And here we're going to call this one Art. Okay? And we're going to create another new folder. We're going to call this one Cut. Well, I'll call it Cut and Engrave. You can call it whatever you want. Okay, it doesn't matter what you call it. I'll call it Cut and Engrave. And then we're going to create one more new one, and we're going to call this one Templates. Okay? And then actually, I do one more, and I call it Settings. All right? So, and that's for when you change your machine settings, you want to save a copy of your settings before you change them. And we're not going to get into that one today. So now we have Art, Cut and Engrave, and Templates. So we're done here. We can close this. Now, let's come back to the website. So now we've taken care of this. Now here's the instructions that we're going to go over for loading them. And I can't tell you how many emails a day I get from people that say, my files cannot be opened. And yeah, guess what? You're right. They cannot be opened. You do not open libraries. You must load the libraries. That's why this is highlighted right here. Installing libraries, please read. Every day, over and over and over again, I get the same emails. My computer's telling me there's no program associated with this. Well, that's because you didn't follow these clear instructions right here. So, now, let's figure out what laser do you have. Typically, you've got your 5-watt laser, which is called a 20-watt. So let's run through a couple of these. So you'll see here 15-watt. All right, that's the LU15. Now that one I use for both the 7-watt and the 15-watt. But here's a 7-watt as well. If you have a 7-watt laser, 15-watt laser, 20-watt laser. You can use any of these. When you see the name in front of it, like this Ortur 20-watt, it doesn't mean anything. 20-watt is what matters. What this means is that Ortur gave me the white papers on their 5.5-watt laser, what they call a 20-watt. And I've created the actual CLB file for Lightburn so that Lightburn can create a library. And I've transferred all of those settings into the Lightburn CLB. So it's just means that a manufacturer sent me those settings. Now here you'll see official NAJ libraries. And this is what I got from NAJ. This is a white paper here. And I've transposed all of these settings into the CLB file. So here you've got the N4630, you've got the A4640, the A4630. So these are the model numbers of your lasers. You can just look on the laser module itself to find it. If you have a ComGrow, this is the official ComGrow library here. You have the 10-watt and the 5-watt. Those are the only two models. If you have the AtomStack A5 Pro, well, then you have this library here, A5 Pro. Read these notes up on top because you'll see that it is not compatible with the A10, the Pro 50, or the X7 Pro. But tonight, just today, last night, I did do the 50 series. And this is compatible with the A10, the Pro 50, and the X7 Pro. And also the new P9 that's coming soon. I do have that one here in the shop on the bench, and I'm doing some testing with that one. Here's an additional note here, and this goes with all of them. Can also be used with any other 10-watt optical output laser. So you can use this for anything. So let's go ahead and grab one. Now, you can do this and you'll get this pop-up window. Now, if you don't get this pop-up window where it just saves it directly to your downloads, you don't want to do that. Then just right-click on this and do Save Link As. Some computers might say Save Target As. You know, just look for the word as at the end. And if we do that, then let's get out of the network. Let's go to all the way up here to desktop. And in desktop, we're going to go to Lightburn. And now you see here are the ones that I created. And we're in the cut and engrave settings here. So we're going to do that and say save. And there we go. And it starts flashing right away, which means the download's complete. And we have that file now on our computer. So let's jump back over into Lightburn. And now your library is going to be completely empty, okay, if you're just loading it for the first time. So all you have to do is click on this button right here that says load. So let's do that. Let's click on load. Now the first time that you do this, you're going to have to come to your desktop, and then you're going to come down here to Lightburn, and you're going to come to cut and engrave. And there it is right there. That's the one that we've just downloaded. So I'll either double click on that one or I'll single click on it and say open. And now you see it loads the Atom Stack M50. So let's go back again and let's load the ComGrow 10 watt. So I'm going to click on this. This time it's going to remember, because we were just here, where to put it. So all I have to do is say save. And you see it flashes right away, means that it's finished. So we'll come back to Lightburn, and now I can click load again, and there's the ComGrow 10 watt right there. And all I have to do is say open. Now I want you to also notice that these go with the laser. So if I were to switch to the, let's switch to the Ortur 7 and 15 watt. Take a look at what happens here. It automatically saves them with the laser. So if you have multiple lasers, you can do multiple downloads. Okay, let's go back and go back one step here. And let's go to the art libraries this time. So let's click on the art library downloads. And again, same instructions are here. We're going to do the same thing. So let's grab this animals art library. And we're going to either click on it or right click and say save as. Now we're in the wrong folder. We want to save it on the desktop, Lightburn, art. Okay. Click save. And let's do another one while we're in here. Let's do cartoons and just click save. And you know you can do this really quickly. Just keep saying save now, because it remembers what folder we're in, and you'll see that they're all downloaded now. So back to Lightburn, we're going to come to the art library, and if I were to, let's just get rid of everything here and start with a clean slate, okay? This is what your library will look like. Nothing, if you've never loaded a library before. So we're not going to say new, we're going to say load at this point. And we're going to click load, and we're going to click on Lightburn, this PC, desktop, Lightburn. We're going to go to art, double click. Now at this point you can either select one or you can select all of them just by dragging across what you want. You can also click on the top one, hold down shift, and click on the bottom one, and that'll also select them all. And if you do that and say open, watch right here. It populates them right here in your art library. So now you have all three of these libraries installed and ready to use. So now let's do it. Let's go from start to finish. So we're using the 7 and 15 watt. I keep these two together because they're very, very similar. There's not very much of a difference between the two. So let's bring out Alvin as an example, and I'm going to scale him down by the corner just by dragging him like that. Move him onto the work plane. Okay, so there we go. We have Alvin. Now all I'm going to do is come to my library. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do this on. So I'm going to do this on cardboard, engrave, come to cuts and layers, make sure it's highlighted, watch it here, assign to layer, and you'll see speed 50, power 100. And that's it. Now if I come to cut, I can assign that to that layer, speed 3.3, power 100. And you see how that works? If I wanted to cut this out, in other words, which I wouldn't, absolutely. I'd want to be doing the engraving here. So now if I switch lasers, it will also switch the libraries. That really is all there is to it. One thing you really want to do is keep your desktop organized. And take, if you use Lightburn and you laser a lot every day, take and put it somewhere where it's in a spot where, it's obvious, easy to get to, and make sure that you keep yourself organized. Now, I've been around computers probably longer than most anybody. I started working for IBM back in the late 70s and worked for them for a few years on the PC. It's been a long time, so I've learned over the years, everything I've done over the years in computers has always been part of my career, and I've learned that file organization is paramount. Without it, you will go crazy. You will have, you'll lose a lot of time doing your work. You won't be productive unless you know where every file is. So try and organize things by folders and files, and your libraries are simple to use. Let's go back over to the discussion board one more time. And I just want to warn you that some of the libraries that you might get, very possible that they're going to be ungrouped. So be careful when you use them. You can always check it, and if it's ungrouped and you move something wrong, just hit the undo button. But when you start using libraries, and there are tons of, look how many pages of art libraries there are here. I've put thousands of hours into this, and this is a free resource that anybody can use, and it's very, very simple to use, and it's not like Facebook. So don't think that you can create a post and put @RichF, and I'll see it, because I won't. If you really need to talk to me, you can click up here, or you can click on my name and send me a private message. You can do it right here too. So, this is not like Facebook. There's no drama here. And if there is any drama, it goes away very quickly. So it's all information that you're going to use with your laser. And it's all good information. If you have problems, there are lots of people here that will help you resolve those problems. If you need an idea for something, there are lots of people that are going to give you ideas. It's just a great focused group that's unlike any of the others. And yeah, I've got the Facebook group, and I've got the Facebook page and the Instagram page, all that kind of stuff. But this is a real resource, unlike the others. And the purpose of this is what my motto says right here: to inspire, create, learn, and teach. And that's why I do this, is inspiring, creating, learning, and teaching. And I teach a lot of stuff. I learn a lot of stuff from other people. I get feedback in the comments on the videos that cause me to rethink things and do things differently. And this is my hobby, and I'm enjoying my retirement hobby, and this is how I'm doing it. And I spend a lot of time doing this. So I hope you all appreciate this. I know you do. I mean, I get tons of emails every day from people telling me how much they appreciate it. So there is a Start Here section if you want to jump over into here. And there are a lot of topics here. This is like where you would put general things: how to ask for help, changes to the forum, settings. These are general questions that you can put in here. But if you have a general question for, let's say, diode lasers, then come over here to see where it says Hobby Diode Laser Engravers. Click on there. This is where all of the questions and answers are going to be for all different types of lasers. So if you can't find an answer here, you're not going to find it anywhere. And here's probably one of the best features of all. So let's say you wanted to search for NAJ. You had a question about NAJ. Well, just hit search, and you're going to get all kinds of results about the NAJ in here. as you see, an AJA 4640, all types of different questions and answers, and which makes this so easy to use and such a great resource. My goal is to make this forum the #1 resource center on the internet for hobbyists, with a focus on obviously lasers. We have diode lasers, CO2 lasers, fiber lasers, you know, and as the shop grows here, the hobby shop, there'll be more types of lasers as well. And if you wanted to have your own separate hobby, just let me know. I mean, there's a flea market here. There's woodworking, you know, show off your creations if you want to show off your work. There's all types of different topics here that you can participate in, and I hope that you do. But the important thing in today's video was about learning how to set up, organize, and use Lightburn libraries. And I hope that we've achieved that today. And I hope this will eliminate a lot of questions that I get by email every single day, 7 days a week. It's not that I you know, don't like getting emails from people, but the same exact questions I get every single day, and that, you know, my computer can't open the file I downloaded is probably the #1 email I get every single day, dozens and dozens of them. So I'm hoping that this video addresses that, not only teaches you how to find the libraries, but also teaches you how to organize your folders, how to download them, and how to load them, most importantly. Not open them, how to load them. So that was the purpose of today's video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you and trying to help out the new users and people that just aren't familiar with Lightburn libraries. And I also hope that you'll take advantage of the discussion board and everything that there is to offer there. We have 9,000 members now. Hopefully we'll have 90,000 members by the end of this year. That's my hope. And we'll have other topics as well. Right now we've got, you know, the lasers, diode lasers, CO2 lasers, 3D printers, woodworking. There might be all kinds of topics by the end of the year. So I hope you join in and have fun doing it, because that's what this is all about. Having fun, being creative, making things, and making friends. And I believe that you all are my friends from the comments that I see on all my videos. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one.